Before Performance High, I was a software developer, and I did that for about a decade. I was doing business-to-business work, so that meant that I was working for a business that provided software to other businesses. While I care very much about whatever I do being done well,
yes,
I didn't care so much about that mission personally.
Right.
I was looking for quite some time to figure out what my next move was, because I was unhappy with what I was doing, just feeling like I wasn't fulfilling whatever my mission was. I didn't feel a lot of meaning in life. I was getting up and making a lot of money and coming home, and I was stressed out a lot, and I just life seemed very gray. It wasn't like a big light bulb all of a sudden one day, oh, I'm gonna start a studio, I'm gonna do this big thing. It was just, I always liked to sing. I'll take some voice lessons. And that's where it started. And this little interest grew. I started joining bands. I started starting bands, and I founded this band and I founded that band, and I started singing all the time and teaching. So I was in music and I was singing, but the reason I started teaching was because I didn't feel like I could find the teacher that I wanted. I was looking for a talented, popular style teacher who respected the fact that as part of my job, I had to sing covers of Journey songs and things like that. When I took lessons with one popular style teacher for a year and a half, and at the end of that time, she actually let me go as a student, saying, I've taught you everything I know how to teach you. And I was like, well, that's it? Wait, I still can't sing high notes. And when I tried, they hurt. What am I don't have a mix at all. I have chest voice and head voice. Seriously, that's all? So, and then I took lessons from classical teachers who were wonderful and very talented, and I got a lot of the healthy foundation from that. But there was one lesson I had where I brought in this Journey tune that I had to sing. It was hard, and we worked on it for a little while, and I was not doing well. And she said, why do you want to sing this anyway? And I was like, it's my job. Can we move on, please? Help me, please. So I wanted to find or be a teacher who had the technical background and the solid foundation to really tackle the difficulties of pop, which are different kinds of challenges than classical music, but they're still challenges, and still respect the art forms that I like to listen to. I was 33 when my full-time job as a software developer ended. I kept doing some contract work independently for about 3 years. It gradually went down, less and less. I was taking on fewer contracts while I was doing more and more music. So, which started out as founding a wedding band and then grew into teaching. So it was about a 3-year transition from 33 to 36. I mean, I will, caution and say that music is a very difficult industry to make a living in. So you have to go into it with your eyes open, and it's not a bad thing to make it a hobby or a serious hobby or one of two things you do. But why wait? Why not do it? Well, we've grown a lot over the last, how long has it been? 8 years, especially over the last couple. We started, it was just me in my basement, and then we added Kristen for a second teacher. The royal we. I added Kristen as a second teacher, and then we kept growing. I moved to Denver and opened a place here, and then we got a second room because we were so full, and then just yesterday actually I found a place that we will start teaching out of in Lone Tree next week. The thing I'm most proud of that's happened over the last 8 years is that we've gone from a basement location to 3 public locations, and I never expected it to get anywhere near this big, and I see that there's room to grow even more. And I'm doing it and maintaining the culture and the mission that I started with. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing that I'm proud of as far as the business. It's easy to when you feel a tailwind and you feel like, oh, I'm doing the right thing, this is working. It's easy to just ride that and try to make as much money and grow as big as you can, and then lose track of what was originally your mission. But I just feel so passionately about the mission that founded this whole thing that I feel like I'm keeping the culture and our priorities straight as we grow. I feel a real sense of care and responsibility for everybody who works here. And I mean, students may or may not care about this, but I feel passionately that I want to create a place where people can grow and have careers not have some churn through teachers because I pay the least amount I can pay to have a staff. It's like I care about the people who work here, and I want them to stay on this team for a long time. So I think the thing that gives me the most pleasure in watching our students grow is when people do transition from, us as a stepping stone into the world of music. So we work with all levels. We work with people who have, no other plans than to sing here in this room in front of me, and that's fine. And we work with people who are already selling out First Bank Center. Everything in between. But the thing that gives me kind of the goosebumps is when someone who's nervous about getting on stage, maybe wasn't sure about their voice, or they pull the things together. They pull together a band or their show or whatever, and they start getting gigs out in the world. Or they move to LA or Nashville and they start blossoming. So it's like we're that perfect middle step. You want to be out in the world making your music, but you don't really know how to get there. And that's what we're here for. Well, we work with students across a really wide age range and experience levels. It's people who are motivated to get out and follow their dream, but aren't really sure how to do it or know they need some voice lessons before they do. So you ask about how I feel about being a woman entrepreneur in the music industry and having predominantly a female staff. And to be honest, it didn't even occur to me that I was a woman-owned company or a predominantly female company until you asked me that. I'm just doing my job and I'm making things happen. Maybe this means that the culture that we create here is a little more flexible or a little more emotional, a little more empathetic than it might be at another school. And I do really value the way that we're small enough to be flexible, so we can handle different students' individual concerns as they come up. You don't have to be rigid, and that's not necessarily a male or female thing, but it can be traditionally more female. So I don't even know how to answer that question, to be honest.